What's up guys, Chris VA Travels down here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm about to visit the Latimer house. As you see, obviously an Italianate house and really nice brackets underneath and really nice crowns on those windows. Yeah, check out the ironwork. This looks like a pretty nice one. The tickets are $20 and you take a scheduled tour. My tour is in about 20 minutes. Right here you can read about Louis Toomer Moore. He was a historian, preservationist, journalist, photographer. All right, get a look at the front of it. Wow, yeah. Nice looking home. And 2 dormers on top. And you probably have a little bit of slight hip roof up there. Pretty tall windows right there. I'm sure those would open up to be doors or just to let a nice cross breeze in. Yeah, here you go. Tours every hour. But well-maintained grounds. It's fluted columns holding up this porch. You can also take the Wilmington candlelight tour. First weekend in December. Oh, you heard that. That's a big bell in there. Some serious spires up there. Another Italianate home, again, great ironwork. And you can always tell the Italianate homes, they're always cube shaped. You have the big overhang. A lot of times you have arch windows, but they're all a little bit different. And this one's kind of stuccoed. A lot of times you see pressed brick, but oh wow. Yeah, this is a very nice looking house. Right here, St. John's Lodge, First Masonic Lodge in North Carolina. Okay. Established 1754. I think that was the same year the one in Fredericksburg was established in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Building erected 1804, used until 1825. It's 1 block west. And all up and down this road are historic homes. So maybe afterwards I'll take a walk around if I still have some daylight. But I'll tell you, this is the Edward Savage House, 1851. Anyway, so I've got about 15 minutes, so maybe I'll walk around the grounds real quick. Zebulon Latimer, 1852. Take a walk through the backyard, and I don't think I'm going to be able to fly my drone. I'm kind of in a busy part of town. Let me see what we have back here. Nice statue. Some bloodroot. And we're in the back half of November, so things aren't going to be looking their best. But some dwarf Yupon. Got some okra over here. Dill. Yeah, baby maple. Again, nice homes all around. Yeah, another Italianate back there. Victorian over here. Wraparound porch. And what is this? Outbuilding. Let me see the slave quarters. As you hear, we're right by the airport. Holy cow, it's a jet. Dang. What is it, Camp Lejeune? Is that what's around here? Little porch tucked in right there. Stucco building. And some information on the slave quarters. One of these old Sanborn insurance maps. July of 1884, 3rd and Orange Streets. Picture prior to the restoration, 1970s. It had been unoccupied for over 40 years. And this is a bill of sale for a slave girl named Eliza, 1841. 1848, this is a letter written to Mr. Latimer by an abolitionist group out of New York. Again, bill of sale for a family of 5 slaves, and this would be 1850. Savage, it's a pretty nice fence, 1855. This is a leopard plant. Pretty nice scent coming off of it, and check out these leaves. Wow, yeah, bees are loving this thing. Yeah, it'd be a great place to relax back here, minus the road noise. Got a maid over there. Sit outside, watch TV. Okay, I can zoom in now. Check out this ginkgo. These things are pretty when they turn. As you see, they become bright yellow. More herbs going all around. Thyme right there. Rosemary, yeah. Latimer slave quarters, 1852. 11 enslaved people lived here and housed in another attached building. That was formerly the workshop for R.B. and J.C. Wood brick masons. After emancipation, house servants lived here until the 1920s. Wow, from 1976 to 1979, the building was stabilized and rehabilitated. Okay, I think we just read some information on that. Got lavender, sage, wild Carolina rose, cotton back there. St. John's wort and some lamb's ear. Oh, you've got a good view right here. So yeah, we're up on a little hill. Didn't realize. Coneflower. Oh yeah, and I saw one of these plants when I was in New Bern yesterday. Oh yeah, here's the ginkgo again. Check out this sundial. All right, let me go in and take the tour.
So people would get their exercise because it's kind of like being on a yoga ball. But you'd also have courting couples. They kind of sinks in the middle so they can rub shoulders together. Get a little bit.
Yeah, we don't have these in Virginia, but I've seen them down further south.
Yes, very much so. Charleston and a lot of the low country, they'll have them on every porch.
All right, cool. All right.
All right, made it inside, and this is the other side of the doorbell. You'll see very high ceilings, a nice gasolier right here. It switched over to electricity in the 1880s, which was 5 years before the White House. And I believe this medallion is going to be plaster painted gold, it looks like. Very deep colors, and this was stenciled, it's not wallpaper. Made it into the formal parlor. Nice marble top table. Nice marble statue back there. Got a slipper chair to the right. Thing sits low, help you put your slippers on, put your shoes on. And up here, convex mirror with the Federal Eagle on top. And this thing really helps spread the light all across the room. It's a mercury mirror going back to 1815, and that's right before they stopped making the mercury mirrors. Here they are, Elizabeth and Zebulon Latimer. This was actually painted 5 years after his death. Fireplace is covered up with this summer grate, and this is rose medallion porcelain from China. Most of the artifacts on display were brought by their second son, William. He traveled extensively. This rug comes from a palace in Crimea. Through the pocket doors here, we've got the dining room. The sideboard here was made in 1825, and it's original to the house. These handles are mother of pearl, and this set is just for the fish course. You'll see the crystals on the chandelier here, again to spread the light. I think we have another painted medallion up here, plaster medallion. A lot of opulence in the house. Another marble fireplace, coal burning fireplace, and really nice porcelain figures all around. Wanted to tell you the Latimers had 9 children, but only 4 lived to adulthood. These balloon back chairs were pretty popular during the 19th century. Oh, and these porcelain pieces are from Dresden, Germany, and they represent characters in Wagner's operas, again brought over by their son William. These small metal toys were made in Germany. And pretty neat collection, a hot air balloon and some Zeppelins. This is a wedding urn from the 1840s, again out of Dresden, Germany. The reason it's in such good shape is because it was purchased on the honeymoon tour of their son Herbert, who had just gotten married to Fanny Empey, who we just saw a picture of. And Herbert ended up dying shortly after they returned. He died of consumption. He was only 26 years old. So Fanny never unpacked it. It sat in its crate until the 1960s when it was opened. Painting here is called The Conversation, and it's a painting of this room. Painting of their daughter-in-law, Fanny Empey. Check out this old Edison phonograph. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice pump organ. You'll see the pedals down there. Picture of their summer home off Bradley Creek, and it's over near Wrightsville Beach. This is a bill of sale for an enslaved family of 5. Elizabeth saw them on an auction block downtown to be sold off separately. She thought that was terrible, didn't want the slaves split up, so she asked Zebulon if he could purchase the entire family. He said, yeah, but it's going to cost $1,600. What are you willing to give up? So that's the reason there's no crown molding in the house. Fine Rococo mirror right here. Picture of Elizabeth on the mantle here. Hey, she lived to be 85. At the time of her passing, she was the oldest living Wilmingtonian. Sconce here was brought back from Italy. And this statue is called Pompeii, and you can see why. And check out this chair. It's called the Bishop's Chair from Bavaria, and it's not comfortable, as you can probably tell. So it was donated to the St. James Episcopal Church, and it's where the bishop sat. Oh, and we're actually in what they call the informal side of the house. Those pocket watches from the 1700s. Commemorative silver rail spike from the Wilmington Seacoast Railroad, and William started this up to get passengers to the beach. Old stereoscope right here. Shows you a 3D picture when you look through. Alright, we've made it upstairs. Picture here was painted by their son William. It's of Hilton Hall off Smith's Creek. This is the Empey family tree. It goes back to the 1500s. And again, daughter-in-law was Fanny Empey, the one who's related to George Washington. We're now in Zebulon's bedroom, and we've got a 6-panel Chinese dressing screen. Looks like we've got a full wash set over here. This room back here was originally the birthing room for Elizabeth. It later on became a smoking room for Zebulon, and then became a sewing room. This is Zebulon's bed, and it was originally a rope bed. Fine upholstered armchair. Shift row here would have been the closet, and it has pretty nice lock plates. Rug is original. You can still see the wear patterns. And we're in Elizabeth's room, and this is her bed. Her daybed over here, also known as a fainting couch. This crepe dress is a morning dress worn by Elizabeth after Zebulon died. And they had pretty strict rules during the Victorian era. And yeah, a woman had to wear black for 2 years after her husband died. Look how narrow these shoes are. Again, during the Victorian era, it was considered the mark of a refined lady to have thin feet. And yeah, not a time for comfort. And these Chuck Taylor looking things are beach shoes. And it looks like the foot's a little bit wider. Pretty interesting. This is a hair wreath from the Bonitz family, a prominent family here in Wilmington. And it's hair from 27 family members. Hair doesn't disintegrate, so it was pretty common at that time for bereaved family members to hold on to lockets of hair or these wreaths of deceased loved ones, just as a memento. Hey, more narrow-toed shoes. And this fireplace is actually made of wood to look like marble. Can't go up to the 3rd floor, but there are 6 bedrooms up there. That's where the children stayed. Nice settee right here. You can tell someone liked to sit on the right side. And pretty neat S-curve on the arm here. And this is pretty neat. This is a signed copy of George Washington's farewell address. And stepdaughter Fanny is a distant relative of George Washington. Another painting here done by son Henry. It's called the Dram Tree. It's a cypress in the middle of the Cape Fear River. This is Lillington Hall, built in 1734. Nice Davenport sofa made up there in Massachusetts. Made it down to the basement, actually an English basement with the windows. And this was originally the dining room before it was moved upstairs. This chair looks like it might be in the Empire style. You see, we made it to the kitchen. And this room was actually originally the warming kitchen where the food was plated. The original kitchen was in the room next door, which is now the gift shop. This sideboard is original, as you can probably tell. And you've got your blue willow china in there. Obviously the plate warmer. The food was put on the plates in this room, of course, and taken over to the dining room. And then all your usual items you'd find in a kitchen from that time period. Jello mold, herb grinder. Of course, you're gonna have your sugar cone back there. This is a butter mold. You can stamp a cool design into it. And you've actually got a little bar of soap in here. You'd shake it around to create suds. Interesting. And a cheese grater.
In these pictures, both of the girls are deceased, and they're with their parents. So it was not uncommon at all. This is unusual because her eyes are open. Usually they would shut them, then glue them down. But usually what they would do is the eyes would be closed and they would paint pupils on them like they have in this picture. So photographers would come, they had stands so so she could stand up and they could face you, and that's how they could, pretty much any position you wanted to be in. Sometimes because people were so spiritual when they wanted to meet their dead or talk to them, you'd have some charlatan photographers that would double expose the film and say, I caught their spirit in the background, and they could charge extra for it. So, but very common back in the day, post-mortem. We look at it and go like, oh, but again, their relationship with death was a lot different than ours because it was just way common.
Check out this original iron stove. Tub over here to wash dishes. You'd bring in water from the cistern. And it actually has a drain to get rid of the dirty water, which was pretty uncommon at the time. Coffee grinder. The iron to the left, you'll see a little compartment where you can put in the coal to keep it warm. There you go, glimpse of the original wall. All right, guys, last cabinet. Wanted to get this one in. In the 70s, UNC Wilmington helped renovate the slave quarters, and these are some artifacts that were found. You see tonic bottles, toothbrushes, ceramics. And can't forget about the gift shop. And like I say, this was originally the kitchen.
Looks like Wilmington's a great historic town. So, but yeah, I'm gonna hit the road. That's it for the Latimer house. As always, guys, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.